Santa, Hope Santa, Hope Santa, Hope, 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 Hope.
Come on. The homie with the gun, we bringing hope to the hopeless. Father on rock, we bringing hope to the hopeless. What? Niggas selling socks, we bringing hope to the hopeless. Hope to the hope, you know it. Hope to the hopeless. The homie with the gun, we bringing hope to the hopeless. Father on rock, we bringing hope to the hopeless. What? Niggas selling socks, we bringing hope to the hope. We bringing hope to the hope. We bringing hope to the hope. We bringing.
Oftentimes when we do these, we kind of focus on the women that are already married. I want to talk to the single women for a minute, just for a minute. While I was preparing for this, or while I was thinking this over, one of the things I realized, what we do is, as single women, no, I'm not single, but this is what I used to do. As single women, what we do is, we want to be in a relationship and we want to be involved with a significant other. We want to do things, so what we do is, we go and we hang out with single women. We go and we hang out with single women, then we have these conversations with single women, and I've heard T.D. Jakes said, and oftentimes great men of faith say this, I can only take you as far as I've gone.
Right.
Which means that you listening to that other single lady, you're not going to get anywhere. When Elizabeth got pregnant, she got pregnant, and then 3 months afterwards, Mary got pregnant. The Spirit of the Lord said to Mary, go and visit Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's good.
Why would Mary have gone to visit Elizabeth? Because the journey that Mary was about to take, Elizabeth was already on.
Yes.
And as a result, she was able now to give her words of wisdom and revelation, as so many single women need today. Another thing, when Ruth and Naomi, Ruth, both of them were widows, Naomi gave Ruth instructions. Naomi was the older woman, Ruth was the younger woman. She gave her instructions, she followed her instructions to the T. I say all of that to say this. Oftentimes you look at people who are in a certain position, as far as you're concerned, you've already closed off yourself to them because you believe like you don't. They don't understand what you're going through, or they don't understand where you want to be because they're already married. The truth is, they have the information that you need. Amen, somebody. The Bible says that the older women ought to teach the younger women. What I realize is two things. The older women are not teaching the younger women because as far as they're concerned, they don't want to listen to what you have to say. And the younger women are no longer finding themselves in the company of older women because they believe they're too old.
They believe they know everything already.
Well, that's true too. The younger people today, what I'm noticing is that a lot of them really do believe that they know it all. And the truth is, you don't know it all. As a matter of fact, you don't know half of the things that you should know. You understand? And so it's important for younger women, women that are not married, to find a woman that is married and ask her questions. Prick her brain. Ask about certain stuff. Ask about sex before marriage. Ask about sex during marriage. Ask about sex after marriage. Ask about using godly wisdom. Ask about how to pray for your husband, your better half, or the person that you want to be married to. The Bible says that he who finds a wife findeth a good thing. The problem is too many of you unmarried women are trying to find a man. That is not your job. God never gave you instructions. He never said to the single woman, go out there and look for a man. That's not what he said. And some of you today are so aggressive. The thing that a guy cannot have is the thing that he wants the most.
Oh, that's right. You need to say that again. That's a revelation.
The thing that a man cannot have is the thing that he wants the most. What I'm realizing, and yes, I do have single friends who ask me information all the time. Because from the outside looking in, and I dare to say this publicly, from the outside looking in, most people think that we have a great marriage. And we do to a certain extent, but there's still things that Apostle can learn. There's still things that I'm learning. We're learning because this is a journey. What we do realize last year and going through everything that we went through is, buddy, I ain't going nowhere and he ain't going nowhere. We in this for life. So I always just joke with him. As a matter of fact, recently I just joked with him, tell him, I say, but you better learn to like me as your friend because our daughter leaving soon. Only be me and you in this big house. You better learn to be my friend. And I got to learn to be his friend. I have to learn to like basketball. I have to learn to like cars. Mind you, I like cars. I like luxury
You
cars.
like driving them?
Yes, I do. That's my job. Your job is to provide, and my job is to enjoy what you provided.
But where you find that in the Bible, though?
That's marriage according to Pastor Reid, Woman 101.
Okay, all right. You know, you was on to something just now, right? Even with men, we are going to ask people what he in the relationship, people what don't have no woman, how to treat your woman. How much of y'all, brothers, be real. When you going through relationship problem, you mention it to your boy. He ain't got no woman, but he tell you, say, babe, that was my woman. But you ain't got none. You better learn from somebody what already walk that walk. And if you talking, honestly, if y'all talking about getting married, you're dating, you're talking about getting married, let me tell you something what I learned. Two things I want to drop in your spirit. One of the things is that find yourself a mediator that both of you respect. Find yourself a mediator. So when you have a problem, because women always think they right, and us, we believe we right. So when two people believe they dead right, you got problems. Now if you have a mediator, the mediator then comes in and mediate and say, look here, bro, you're wrong in this one. Sis, you're wrong in this one. And you both agree that whatever the mediator says, that's what it is. So if you need to apologize, you apologize. The next thing that I've learned is this. Before you go and commit yourself to relationship, you need to sit down and make a contract. What is your expectation? What you expecting from me? When I got married, I figured that women do certain things. When I want sex, give me sex. We didn't know, our brothers them feel like once you get married, you can have sex every day, 3 times a day. No, boo-boo, that ain't happening. So you need to establish from the get-go, if me and you get married, how much times we can have sex? Okay? No, I'm talking real. All right? Can I expect you to wash for me? Can I expect you to cook for me? Can I expect for you to have on sexy clothes when I come home? You start to decide those things and negotiate on those things. Women do the same thing. What are you expecting from the brother? So now when he does or does not do what he says that you could expect, then you can get mad. But how can you get mad with me if I never agreed that I was going to do something? I never agreed that I was going to send you to the saloon. We didn't have that discussion. Can I expect for you to finance my good looks? You need to know these things. So now, during the relationship, if these expectations are not met, then you can get mad. But how you can get mad and I ain't tell you expect that from me? I ain't tell you I can give you gift for birthday, Valentine's. I ain't tell you that. So how you can get mad when I don't do it? We need to negotiate. You can't come into a relationship just thinking that this is the way it works. And while we on this, I got a question. I have a question. How come anniversary for the woman? How come Valentine's for the woman? And men only get their birthday or Father's Day, but women get anniversary, Valentine's, their birthday, Mother's Day, like here's my mother. That's just a question.
I don't know where it's written. I've never seen it written anywhere. But that is just something that kind of, you came into this, so you just went along with it.
But that was not in the contract.
Is it correct? No. I want to add something to what Dr. Reid was saying, and one of the things is this. When you're dating, it's imperative, it's vitally important that you sit down and you discuss. You have to talk. You want to go to the movies? That's fine. But what I suggest is you sit down and you talk. You ask questions.
Yes.
If it does not line up with what you think you want for your life, then you're going to have to leave. You understand me? We go into these things with so many preconceived notions.
Yes.
And the truth is you have to be able to define the goals that you want Is your goals and his goals the same
Lining
goals?
up. Are they lining up?
You understand me? You have to talk. Oftentimes, a lot of relationships, people don't talk. So when you're sitting down talking to them about marriage, the only thing that the woman is focusing on is her wedding day, and the guy is talking about
On the
sex. He
cookie.
can get free sex.
Yeah,
You
that's all they
understand
think
me?
about, the cookie.
But when that wedding day is done and the festivities are finished and everybody goes home, you now have to live with this person for the rest of your life. Because you went before God and man and you said, I do. So what I suggest, this is just a suggestion, as somebody that's been married, and I thought, he and I were talking about this, and I said to him, these are some of the things that I should have asked, but did not ask. You understand? Where do we see ourselves in 5 years?
Yes.
What are we going to do about our bank account? Do we merge the bank account? Do I have a separate one? Do you have a separate one? I didn't understand the vision for the ministry going into marriage. As far as I was concerned, dude was a minister at the time. I just get to be pretty and look good. I don't even have to hold a mic. I don't even have to say anything. I don't even have to talk to nobody if I don't want to. Unbeknownst to me, there was a whole world out there that I was not privy to, didn't understand, and as a result, I made a vast majority of mistakes. I didn't know what it was to be a wife. As far as I was concerned, buddy, I am not your maid.
That was not in the contract.
This cookie is my cookie and not your cookie, and I will share this when I feel like it. No. These are things that we go into the marriage thinking. You understand me? I'm not ironing your shirt because I don't want to. I'm not cooking no food because you could cook just as good as me or probably better. Let's be real. You can't tell me where to go. I am not calling you to tell you where I want to go because you are not my father. These are the things that we go into marriage thinking. Everything that I've listed is W-R-O-N-G. Wrong. Several months ago, I did a study because I wanted to know about this divorce thing. Yes, we were planning a divorce, and I dare say it because there's some people out there that are speculating. Let me be the first to help you out. Yes, we did discuss it, but that ain't none of your business. Because when we go home, it's just Carlos and Tiffany Reid, not the world. Y'all can't help me out there. Getting back.
Wrong.
There's several things that I did not do. Even when we got counseling before, and I think that the counseling was an injustice. When you want to get married women, I have to talk to women because this is what I am. I'm a woman. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, whether you're dating somebody or you're not dating somebody. And don't take it for granted that he is on the same page as you, because 9 out of 10 times, do it all the way down South Beach and you just heading out west. 2 different courses altogether. Women, it's not just about dressing up and looking good. It's not just about saying that you're married. There are things that you have to do as a woman. Several months ago, I was doing a study because first of all, I wanted to understand what was the Word of God's view about divorce. And then I was trying to find the word submit in there. What does this word submit mean? Bear in mind, we just celebrated 18 years of marriage last week, Monday. No, don't clap. 18 years of marriage together. And did I tell you we made a whole lot of mistakes?
Plenty.
We made a lot of mistakes. Yes, we're at 18 years of marriage, but I made a decision that this is the man that I chose to be with for the rest of my life. I have to do everything that I'm supposed to do to make this man happy. And in turn, I am certain that he will do what it needs to be done to make me happy, for us to truly live a God-ordained marriage. One of the things that women do not understand, you do not understand the word submit. You do not understand that. How do I know? Because I sit down and I listen to women and I hear them say the things that I used to say about not doing this because he is just my husband. that is your king, priest, and Lord that you choose to be with. You choose to say, I do too. And as a result, now you're going to have to be the wife that you went before God and man and confessed that you would be. You understand me? Stop letting people out there tell you all foolishness. It's all foolishness.
One of the things that you got to be careful of, both men and women, women particularly, don't marry somebody that you are not prepared to submit to. If you realize through your conversation and what my wife just said, it's important. Don't just go out to the movies. No, go places where you could sit down, have something to eat, and you could talk so you could get to know people. Sometimes like we go and we just hop in the relationship because somebody look good and not understanding that they could be psycho. And then when you get married, you realize, boy, this is a crazy one. But you should have known that before you get married. You see what I'm saying? By having the conversation. And women, when you have these conversations, you get to know people through what they say. Have real conversations. And if you find that you cannot submit to the brother, you cannot trust him to make decisions, then don't marry him. Don't go marry somebody and then try to get them. Do it before. And next thing, make sure that y'all got some things in common, man. Look here, when we were going for counseling before we got married, they told us that it's all right if people are different, that like attract different. That's a lie out of the pit of hell. I honestly wish that she didn't like basketball. I honestly wish that she didn't like cars, just like she wishing that I didn't like some other things like what she liked. We didn't get an opportunity to get to know each other. Why? And this is important. I can take off the mask. This is important. While we were dating, because I was a minister, we couldn't get to know each other because I ain't had no money. I couldn't go different places where we could have date. If she comes by my apartment I living in, then the Christian folks only one mind they thinking, yeah, they right in there. Can I say it like I was?
Doing things.
Doing that. Can't say it like, yeah, they haven't coitus. That's what they would think. So we didn't get to know each other. We had to watch everywhere we go because people was going to talk. So we didn't get to know each other. So when we got married, now we had to start knowing each other. And it was hard. Why? Because after two people done say, I do, they believe they own one another. Particularly if you are ignorant to what marriage is. Man don't own woman. Woman don't own man. Let me let that sip in. See, you commit to relationship. See, love is not a feeling, but love is a commitment. You make a commitment to love somebody. Like when we first got married, my wife, there were certain things that she didn't do around me. If she wanted to, she didn't do that.
What is that, Apostle? What is that?
I can't say it in church, son.
Flatulence?
Huh?
Flatulence?
That's what it means?
Yes.
I know it as pump. That's what you want me to say?
If I wanted to express myself freely, I just thought so highly of you.
But you held it in.
But listen, no, I didn't hold it in. I just thought so highly of you, so I walked away from you and I expressed myself other places.
But nowadays,
I don't have time to walk away. I'm older now. I don't have the energy that I had when I was 24, 25.
Right, so this saying is that we have to learn how to be real with each other. So the person know what kind of relationship they're getting into. We have to learn how to show people what they're getting into. And the only way that's going to happen if we be able to communicate. So don't just go to the movies where you got to sit down. Don't just go to places where you can't talk. Create opportunities. And there's a lot of cheap ways to date. You could go over to Paradise Island, buy 2 ice cream cones, and walk through the hotel. You could go over what they call it, the village in Paradise Island. You could get a smoothie, and you all could walk, sit down on the bench, and look at the yachts and play. You could get all kind of money and communicate.
Communicating before you get married. understanding or writing out your goals and what you would like to achieve or accomplish during the marriage. Understanding what it means to be a wife, understanding what it means to be a husband, because
husband.
everybody has a role to play. Your role as a wife, your role is not the same role as that of your husband. Well, one of the first things God did was he told the wife to submit. And what submission means is that you have decided that the person that you're going to now subject yourself to, or you're going to live with, or you're going to marry to, this person is now in charge of you. This person is now responsible for you. He is responsible for your protection, for your finances. He is responsible for you. So he takes you away from your father, per se, or your father's home, and he now becomes your father, per se. And I think that's why Sarah called Abraham Lord.
Who is your daddy?
You are, baby. So you now have, this is the role that he is now taken on. He is now responsible for you as the woman. If ever I come out looking shabby and break down, don't blame me. Blame him. Amen, somebody? Because, why are you looking at me like that? Because
No,
I am
I'm just
a
enjoying you talking.
representation of him. And he will oftentimes tell you, he dresses up from Monday to Friday, but on Saturday he wants to look a little bit
Pop down.
different. If I'm home on a Saturday, I would oftentimes ask him, Reid, where you going in that tight shirt? Or, Reid, why are you wearing those shorts? Because I would tell him and my daughter, both of them, you are representing me. I'd like for you to represent me just a little bit different. And if anybody knows me, you all know I like everything in place. That's just me. I like things in place. But anyhow, he is a representation of me and I am a representation of him. And all of these things are things that she now needs to understand. You need to know that when you're leaving that house, your responsibility is to inform your husband where you are going. Your responsibility is to talk to your husband. Talk to him. Tell him what you're doing. Tell him what's going on. I'm still having a bit of a challenge with that, yes, 18 years later. And it's still a challenge because I don't particularly like questions. I don't like to be asked questions. Again, not him, me. Because these are things that I'm now learning 18 years later. So if I tell him, I say, hon, I'm going to Super Value, and his question to me is, but what you going for? On the next end of the phone, my eyes are, really? Do it, really? Anyhow, honey, I'm going for some peanut butter and bread. And then he may want to ask me, how long are you, I'm just using this as a scenario. How long will you be there? And I want to answer him as long as I want to be. I'm just saying.
Now, look here. You understand what she's saying? She's just saying.
Yeah, this is just a scenario.
Don't go out here believing like.
No, I'm not disrespectful
All
anymore. Anymore. No. Listen, I gotta help some folks out. Yes, I used to be rude and disrespectful. Now I understand, sis, be careful. Don't let God send one lightning and strike you down because he is king, priest, and lord of your house. It is a daily challenge because I have to remind myself of who the man of God is. This is the man of God. Just recently he asked me, see, I don't like preaching stuff. Because what my husband does, he'd be the very one who comes and says, well, you remember what you preach on Sunday? You say you were supposed to honor me.
I remember the message.
Yeah, he'll come and he says, that's not what your message says. So what, you preach one thing and then do one thing, and then I got to straighten myself and say, you know what, I have to honor my man of God. Because he's going to remind me. Should he remind me? No, because if I'm preaching something, I should be living something. So now we're learning that our private lives are just, as a matter of fact, it's even more important than our public life.
Yes.
Because
yes.
there's somebody in my house who is watching me and the way that I treat the man of God, and she's going to go there and do the same thing to her husband. So now I have to kiss him some mornings, even when I feel like kissing. You understand? You know the morning breath? And he liked to, for some strange reason now, he loves to kiss. Like when we first got married, he didn't like to kiss. I must be learning how to do it. I mean, that's kissing. I mean, kissing. Or he probably
Why are
learned
you
how to
telling
do
these
it.
people all my business though?
No, because we're being real.
Okay.
We're being real. So what I'm learning is, and he's trying. And because he is trying, because he is doing his role to love me in spite of my sometimes rude ways.
Sometimes.
Right.
No, put it this way. In spite of your differences.
in spite of my unique personality, is that better? In spite of my unique personality, I'm learning, I'm watching him, and I'm watching him now trying to do the things that God has said as a husband that he should do. I don't have to go and ask him for money anymore because he makes sure that I have what I need. I don't have to do certain things anymore. Before he comes to me and says, "Hun, did you cook? What are we eating?" And I say, "Well, whatever I say." But he makes sure that those things...
What do you say?
I say sometimes yeah and sometimes no. But it's the truth.
Okay.
I don't feel like...
Carry on smartly.
Listen, ours is a very unique situation. If I'm up at 3 a.m. in the morning, most mornings, by 3, 4 o'clock in the day, I won't cook. But I know I have to get up and muster up some energy and go and cook. Sometimes.
Let me say something to the brothers on that line too. Brothers, hear me good. God created the woman to be a helper. In other words, she's designed to help. I need you to hear me. That's why it's important that you find yourself. What is your purpose? Because if she can't help you, she can find somebody to help because it's in her nature to help. You can't, look here, if you want to be able to keep your woman inspired and motivated, then find your purpose early. If you ain't find your purpose, then you don't need woman yet. This other one. Before God gave man a wife, he gave him a job and a house. If you ain't got no job and no house, you ain't ready for wife yet. Don't let nobody go force you to go get married. That's what they did with us. I was a young minister. And God bless my spiritual father, but he keep reminding me I'll be so happy when you get married. When you get married, doors going to open for you. So I wanted to get married quick because I wanted those doors open quick. But I wasn't ready for marriage because I was still hurting from a previous marriage. So what I did was to take the hurt into that relationship and I put this wall up. And by the time I was ready to pull down that wall, she had a wall up. Why? Because she didn't like how I treated her. Some of y'all got to stop running from relationship to relationship and heal first. Get over some issues first because all you're doing is piling up that luggage and taking that into the next relationship. The prerequisite or the solution to dealing with your pain is not finding somebody else. You got to first learn how to deal with you. Some of y'all right now, y'all get out of a relationship today. Next week you in a relationship? No. Take time to know. Sometimes you got to learn how to date yourself. Go out, take yourself, and you women too. Stop being hard up. Stop being, what you said? What was? Desperate. You don't have to be desperate. Look here, God have an Adam for every woman and an Eve for every man. Yours out there. You just got to develop yourself so when your Boaz come, man, you'll be ready for him. Amen. If you're not ready for him, you'll only a tracky cousin. Y'all know the cousin, right? Broke, crazy. I'm talking real. I'm telling you the truth. See, everybody don't have to get burned with fire to know fire hot. Everybody don't have to get bite with pit bull to know pit bull is bite. We learn from other people's experience. What we are doing here today is showing you our experience on what not to do. We learned some things over the 18 years that we've been married, and what we are saying, if we had known these things, then we could have do things better. But I believe that God intentionally allow us to go through some things so we can be able to help some of y'all today. And that's all we trying to do. Try to prepare you. Brothers, stop worrying about buying car and buy a piece of property.
Kingdom Summit, realest place on the planet, on the planet. Welcome. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. You gotta come check us out, why? Cause the Kingdom Summit, the realest place on the planet, Yeah, it's the Kingdom Summit, the realest place on the planet, Yeah. Ha.